In a distant galaxy, the Galactic Empire ruled with an iron fist. Known for their advanced technology and powerful ships, they traveled from planet to planet, conquering civilizations without mercy. Their latest target was a small blue planet called Earth, located in a remote solar system. The Empire's leaders had heard rumors of a primitive species living there, and they were eager to add this new world to their vast empire. On the Empire's flagship, a colossal ship named the Conqueror, the high-ranking officials gathered to discuss their plans. Commander Varric, a tall, imposing figure with a sharp gaze, stood before a holographic map of the solar system. "This planet holds valuable resources," he declared, his voice booming. "We will send our fleet to take control and bring these humans to their knees." The other commanders nodded in agreement, sharing Varric's confidence. They had faced many civilizations before, and none had stood against them for long. "They are weak," sneered Admiral Tessa, a cunning strategist known for her ruthless tactics. "They will surrender without a fight. We will show them the power of the Galactic Empire." Meanwhile, on Earth, life went on as usual. People were busy with their daily routines, unaware of the danger approaching their planet. In a high-tech laboratory, a group of scientists was monitoring the skies. Suddenly, one of them, Dr. Maria Chen, pointed at a screen. "Look! There are ships coming into our solar system." The room fell silent as everyone gathered around the screen, eyes wide with fear. The scientists quickly analyzed the data. "They're huge! And they're not from our world," another scientist exclaimed. Panic set in as they realized the gravity of the situation. Dr. Chen, the lead scientist, took charge. "We need to warn the governments. We can't let them catch us off guard." The scientists worked together to send out urgent messages to military leaders around the globe, alerting them of the incoming threat. As news spread, military leaders gathered in emergency meetings. They were shocked to learn about the advanced ships headed toward Earth. Generals and commanders exchanged worried glances. "We can't just sit here and wait for them to attack," said General Roberts, a seasoned veteran known for his courage. "We need a plan to defend our planet." Instead of panicking, the leaders decided to take action. They called on their best military minds to devise a strategy. "We may be outmatched in technology, but we have something they don't. Our spirit and determination," General Roberts asserted. "We can't let them conquer us without a fight." As the days passed, the Empire's fleet moved closer to Earth. Ships of various shapes and sizes filled the sky, darkening the once blue expanse. The Empire believed that fear would force the humans to submit, but they were unaware of the fierce spirit brewing among the people of Earth. In underground bunkers and military bases, soldiers trained hard. They practiced maneuvers and strategies, knowing they had to be ready. Civilians joined the effort, volunteering to support the military in any way they could. They gathered supplies and worked together, driven by a shared purpose, to protect their home. Finally, the Empire's fleet entered Earth's orbit, a sight that struck fear into many hearts. The flagship, the Conqueror, hovered above the planet like a storm cloud, casting a shadow over everything below. The Empire sent a message, its voice echoing through the air. "Humans of Earth, you are commanded to surrender. Your world belongs to the Galactic Empire now." But instead of giving in, the leaders of Earth stood firm. They gathered in a bunker, discussing how to respond. "We can't show weakness," General Roberts insisted. "Let's send them a message they won't forget. We'll fight for our home." The resolve in the room was palpable. They would not let fear dictate their actions. Earth's defenders began to formulate a bold plan, preparing to take on the mighty Galactic Empire. As the Empire waited for a swift victory, they had no idea that a storm was brewing on the surface. Humanity was ready to show that they were far more than a primitive species. The stage was set for an epic clash between two worlds, and Earth was about to rise to the challenge. As the Galactic Empire loomed over Earth, its leaders expected an easy victory. They believed humans were weak and would surrender at the first sign of danger. But down on Earth, the spirit of defiance was rising. The leaders gathered in their bunker, eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the Empire's ships. "Commander Varric thinks we will bow down to their demands," General Roberts said, determination etched on his face. "We must show them that we are not afraid." The room buzzed with energy as ideas flew around. Dr. Maria Chen suggested we should strike first. "Show them that we will not back down." Other military leaders nodded in agreement, their fear transforming into courage. "We can use guerrilla tactics," one officer proposed. Small, quick strikes will confuse them. They won't expect us to fight back. With the plan taking shape, the leaders sprang into action. They organized teams of soldiers, pilots, and engineers, all eager to defend their planet. Across the globe, military bases prepared for battle. Soldiers trained harder than ever, knowing their very survival depended on their courage and strategy. As the Empire waited in orbit, Earth's forces launched their first counterattack. A small fleet of fighter jets took to the skies, buzzing like angry bees. They were outmatched in technology but relied on their speed and tactics. The pilots felt a mix of fear and excitement as they approached the massive ships. "Stay sharp and follow my lead!" shouted Captain Sarah Thompson, a skilled pilot with a fierce reputation. She had trained for years and knew this moment would define them. As they neared the Empire's flagship, the pilots executed daring maneuvers, weaving in and out of enemy fire. The Empire's soldiers were shocked. "They're attacking us?" Varric exclaimed, staring at the chaos unfolding on the screens. "I thought they would surrender!" The first wave of fighter jets unleashed their missiles, hitting one of the Empire's smaller ships. It exploded in a flash of light, and cheers erupted among the humans. The pilots, fueled by adrenaline, felt a surge of hope. They were fighting back. The Empire quickly realized that their advanced ships were not invincible. "They're using unconventional tactics," Admiral Tessa shouted, scrambling to regain control. "Reinforce the shields and prepare to retaliate." As the battle escalated, more waves of fighter jets joined the fight. Humans coordinated their attacks, distracting the Empire while their ground forces prepared. The defenders set up hidden bases and launched surprise strikes on enemy supply lines. The Empire struggled to adapt. They had expected a swift victory, but instead they faced fierce resistance from a species they underestimated. Confusion spread among their ranks as the humans continued to fight back with courage and creativity. Meanwhile, in the heart of the conflict, General Roberts coordinated the ground forces. He had gathered the best soldiers and strategists to turn the tide in their favor. "Let's hit them where it hurts," he ordered. "We need to take out their command center on the surface." The ground forces moved stealthily through the shadows, using the cover of night to launch their surprise attack. They planted explosives around the command center and prepared for the final strike. "On my signal, we go in," General Roberts whispered, adrenaline coursing through his veins. As the Empire tried to regroup in space, the ground forces detonated the explosives. A thunderous explosion rocked the command center, sending shockwaves through the Empire's ranks. "What's happening?" Varric shouted, bewildered. "They're attacking our command!" The chaos on the ground fueled the spirits of the pilots in the air. Captain Thompson rallied her team. "Let's finish this! Keep pushing!" The pilots dove into the fray, determined to protect their planet and show the Empire that humanity would not back down. As Earth's forces fought valiantly, the Empire began to realize they had underestimated their opponents. What they thought would be an easy conquest had turned into a battle for survival. Humanity was ready to show the Galactic Empire just how fierce and unyielding they could be. With each explosion and every courageous act, the humans proved they were not just victims, but warriors willing to fight for their home. The bold response from Earth was just the beginning, and the Empire was about to learn a hard lesson about underestimating humanity. The sun rose over Earth, casting a warm glow on the battlefield below. But for the Galactic Empire, this day would not be filled with victory celebrations. Instead, it marked the beginning of a fierce battle that would change everything. As the Empire's fleet hovered in the sky, Earth's defenders prepared for the fight of their lives. On the ground, General Roberts stood with his team, looking at the maps spread out on a large table. "The Empire thinks they can crush us easily," he said, his voice steady. "We need to prove them wrong. Our forces are ready, and we will fight with everything we have." As morning turned to midday, Earth's forces launched a full-scale attack. Fighter jets roared into the sky, leaving trails of smoke behind them. Captain Sarah Thompson led the charge, her heart racing with adrenaline. "Let's show them what we can do," she shouted over the radio, rallying her fellow pilots. As the jets flew towards the Empire's flagship, the Conqueror, they could see the massive ship looming above them. It was unlike anything the humans had ever seen. Dark, imposing, and filled with technology beyond their understanding. But the pilots felt a fire inside them. They were fighting for their home, their families, and their future. Suddenly, alarms blared on the Conqueror. "Incoming fighters!" Varek shouted, his eyes wide with disbelief. "They're attacking us head-on!" The Empire's crew scrambled to their stations, ready to defend their ship. Tessa barked orders, trying to regain control of the situation. "Prepare to fire! Show them the power of the Galactic Empire!" As the jets closed in, laser blasts lit up the sky. Captain Thompson maneuvered her jet, twisting and turning to avoid the enemy fire. "Stay sharp, everyone," she called out. "Don't let them hit you!" The pilots worked together, forming tight formations to protect one another while launching their missiles at the Empire's ships. The first explosion rang out as a human fighter struck an enemy vessel. The sight of the ship bursting into flames sent waves of hope through Earth's forces. "We can do this!" a young pilot shouted, his voice filled with excitement. Meanwhile, on the ground, the soldiers prepared to engage the Empire's ground troops. They had set up defensive positions around their bases, armed with rifles and makeshift weapons. As the Empire's soldiers began to land, the humans stood ready. "Hold your ground!" General Roberts commanded. "We fight for our home!" The clash between the two forces was intense. The Empire's soldiers, clad in advanced armor, charged forward, confident in their training and technology. But Earth's defenders fought back fiercely, using the terrain to their advantage. They set traps and ambushed the enemy troops, catching them off guard. In the chaos of battle, Captain Thompson and her team dove into enemy formations, firing missiles and dodging lasers. Each successful strike built their confidence. "We're making a difference," she shouted, pushing her jet to its limits. But the Empire was relentless. They regrouped and launched a counterattack, sending more ships into the fray. "We need to hold them off," Tessa yelled, watching as the skies filled with explosions. "Reinforce the shields on the Conqueror!" As the battle raged on, the humans began to lose ground. The Empire's technology started to overwhelm them. "We can't let them take our positions!" General Roberts shouted, rallying his troops. "Fight harder! We are the defenders of Earth." In a moment of desperation, Sarah made a risky decision. "I'm going for their command ship," she announced. Her fellow pilots looked at her in shock. "It's too dangerous," one warned. But Sarah knew it was the key to victory. If we take out their command, we might turn the tide of the battle. With determination, she led her team toward the Conqueror. They soared through the chaos, dodging blasts and weaving between enemy ships. As they approached the flagship, they could see the chaos inside, Empire soldiers scrambling to protect their command center. "Now or never," Sarah yelled, pushing her jet into a dive. Her heart raced as she prepared to fire. Just as she aimed, a massive explosion rocked the flagship. The humans had struck their command center. The battle was far from over, but Earth's defenders had taken a crucial step. The tide was beginning to turn, and the Empire was realizing that they were facing a fight unlike any they had ever experienced. Humanity was rising to the challenge, and the battle had only just begun. The battle raged on, smoke and fire filling the sky above Earth. The Galactic Empire had underestimated humanity, but now they were starting to realize that they were facing a fierce opponent. As chaos spread, General Roberts gathered his top commanders in a bunker beneath the ground, far from the sounds of war. "We need a new strategy," he said, his face grim. "The Empire is too strong, and our forces are running low on resources. We have to find a way to turn this fight in our favor." Dr. Maria Chen stepped forward, her expression serious. "I believe I have a solution. It's risky, but it could give us the edge we need." She revealed a small device from her bag. "This is a prototype of our new weapon, a pulse generator. If we can get close enough to their command ship, it can disable their systems for a short time." The room fell silent. The commanders exchanged glances, considering the implications. "If it works, we could disrupt their entire fleet," General Roberts said. "But getting close to the Conqueror is going to be a challenge." Maria nodded. "I can modify it to work from a distance, but we need a team to deliver it. They will have to create a distraction while we plant the device." "We have to act quickly," another officer urged. "The Empire won't stay off balance for long. We have to catch them by surprise." With the plan in place, the team set to work. Sarah Thompson, captain of the fighter jets, volunteered to lead the mission. "We need to distract them while Dr. Chen and her team get the pulse generator in position," she said. "I know we can do this." As dusk fell, Earth's pilots launched their jets into the sky. The night was dark, but their determination shone bright. Captain Thompson and her team flew toward the Conqueror, knowing that their lives were on the line. "We'll create a diversion on the right flank," Sarah instructed her pilots. "Once we draw their fire, Maria's team can sneak in from the left." The pilots nodded, adrenaline coursing through their veins. As they approached the enemy ships, Sarah's heart raced. She signaled her team to split up and dive toward the Empire's formation. "Now!" she shouted, leading the charge. The jets roared, and the sky exploded with light as they unleashed missiles on the Empire's ships. The Empire's soldiers were caught off guard. "They're back!" Varric shouted in frustration, his hands gripping the control panel. "They keep coming! Reinforce the left side!" While the Empire focused on the fighter jets, Maria and her team slipped away, hiding among the wreckage of destroyed ships. They had to be quick and silent. "We're almost there," Maria whispered as they neared the Conqueror. Meanwhile, the pilots engaged in fierce dogfights, flying through waves of enemy fire. "We can't let them take us down," shouted one of the pilots, narrowly avoiding a laser blast. As they fought, Sarah spotted a small opening. "Let's regroup and push through," she ordered, steering her jet toward the gap in the enemy line. The team followed, working together to carve a path through the chaos. With their distraction working, Maria's team reached the base of the Conqueror. They set up the pulse generator, their hearts racing as they prepared to activate it. "We need to hurry," one of her teammates urged. Just as they were about to finish, alarms blared and enemy soldiers began to close in. "They found us!" Maria shouted, her hands shaking as she initiated the countdown on the device. "We have to defend ourselves!" The team fought bravely, trying to hold off the Empire's forces. With every second counting down, they fired at the approaching soldiers. "Almost there!" Maria cried, determination in her eyes. Meanwhile, Sarah and her pilots continued to battle above. "We're running out of time," Sarah said urgently. "We need to cover them!" With a final push, Maria activated the pulse generator. A bright light shot from the device, filling the area with energy. The power surged toward the Conqueror, and suddenly, the ship shuddered as its systems went dark. "Direct hit!" Varric shouted, his voice laced with panic. "We're losing power!" The Empire's forces were thrown into disarray. Earth's pilots seized the opportunity and launched a renewed attack. "Now! Now! Push forward!" Sarah yelled, her voice full of hope. The tide was turning. With the Empire's command ship temporarily disabled, the humans fought with everything they had. The secret weapon had given them a fighting chance, and as the night raged on, they knew they were one step closer to victory. As the battle continued, humanity's courage shone bright. They had found their strength in unity and determination, and the Empire was about to learn that underestimating humanity could cost them dearly. The night was filled with chaos as the battle continued over Earth. The pulse generator had created a significant advantage for humanity, but the war was far from over. Captain Sarah Thompson and her fellow pilots were ready for one last push. With the Empire's command ship in disarray, they had a chance to strike back hard. "Listen up, everyone!" Sarah shouted into her radio as they regrouped in the sky. "We've got a chance to turn the tide. The Conqueror is vulnerable right now. We need to finish what we started and make sure the Empire knows we won't back down." Her pilots cheered, their spirits high. They felt the weight of their mission, knowing that the fate of their planet depended on their next moves. "Let's give them everything we've got!" Sarah urged, determination blazing in her eyes. Meanwhile, down on the ground, General Roberts watched the battle unfold on monitors. The explosions lit up the night sky, showing the struggle between humanity and the Galactic Empire. He knew that this was a defining moment for Earth. "We need to press our advantage," he said to his commanders. "We can't let the Empire regroup. Let's send our ground troops to take control of their landing zones." As the ground troops moved forward, they faced fierce resistance from the Empire's soldiers, who were trying to regain control. "Push them back!" General Roberts shouted, rallying his troops. "We are fighting for our freedom!" On the battlefield, the Empire's forces struggled to recover from the pulse generator's impact. With their systems disabled, many soldiers felt lost. Varric, the Empire's tactical officer, frantically tried to regain control of the Conqueror. "We have to reboot our systems," he yelled, his frustration evident. "We can't let the humans win." But Sarah and her team weren't giving them a chance. They dove into the heart of the chaos, ready to strike at the command ship. As they closed in, the lights of the Conqueror flickered back on. "They're regaining power," Sarah warned her team. "We have to act fast." The pilots launched their final assault, targeting the command center of the Empire's flagship. Laser blasts lit up the sky as they flew low, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. "Now is our moment!" Sarah yelled, pulling her jet into a steep dive. Just as they were about to strike, enemy fire erupted all around them. "Watch out!" one pilot shouted, narrowly avoiding a barrage of lasers. The air was thick with danger, but they pressed on, knowing that the fate of their world rested on their shoulders. As they neared the Conqueror, the pilots coordinated their attacks. "On my mark," Sarah said, focusing intently. 3, 2, 1, fire! Missiles shot toward the command ship, striking it with explosive force. The impact sent shock waves through the Empire's fleet, and chaos reigned as they struggled to regain control. Sarah watched as the damage unfolded, feeling a surge of hope. "We can do this! Keep pushing forward!" Back on the ground, General Roberts witnessed the effects of the air assault. "They're breaking!" he exclaimed, a smile breaking across his face. "Now's our chance. Let's take the fight to them!" With renewed energy, the ground troops advanced, pushing the Empire's forces back. The Empire, once so confident, was now reeling from the relentless assault. Soldiers on both sides fought bravely, but the humans had something that the Empire lacked: unity and determination. Just as victory seemed within reach, Varric made a desperate decision. "Prepare to launch our last resort," he ordered. "If we can't win, we'll take them down with us." The order sent chills through the crew of the Conqueror. They knew what it meant. But before Varric could execute his plan, Sarah and her team struck again. They focused their fire on the command center, determined to prevent any last-ditch efforts by the Empire. In that defining moment, everything changed. The pilots rallied together, combining their firepower to break through the enemy defenses. The command center exploded in a brilliant flash of light, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. Varric watched in horror as his ship fell into chaos. "No! This can't be happening!" he shouted, feeling the weight of defeat. The Empire's soldiers began to retreat, realizing their situation was hopeless. The humans pressed forward, their victory within reach. "We did it!" Sarah cheered as her team regrouped, the thrill of triumph coursing through them. As the Empire's forces withdrew, General Roberts knew they had achieved something monumental. "We fought hard, and today we've shown them that Earth will not be conquered." The sky above Earth was still lit by the remnants of battle, but now it shone with the hope of victory. Humanity had faced a great threat and emerged stronger than ever. This was a defining moment, a turning point that would echo through history. Earth was free, and the Galactic Empire would never forget the day they underestimated humanity.